All right, 3, 2, 1, quick break. This is Oklahoma Forum, locally produced OETA. This is going to be a really good show. This young lady is discussing commerce and economics in Oklahoma. I'm going to let her take over. This is the Energy Boom, by the way. Energy Boom 101. That's Dick Pryor. He's unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely a flat year, and it wasn't uniformly flat.
They're talking about what's going to happen in 2014 in Oklahoma. So you're probably going to hear some references. There's Russell Evans, PhD, Assistant Professor of Economics, OCU. You're going to hear them talk about what's going to happen in 2014 in Oklahoma, and if they don't discuss a lot of energy, they're crazy as shits, but I'm sure they will, so let's see.
The labor supply issues that Deidre talked about, but you're really starting to see developing different economic realities between Oklahoma City, Tulsa, and the rest of the state. And that's going to be a bit of a challenge.
Great shot there.
For social policy and economic policy
Oklahoma Forum.
For the next generation.
Dick Pryor.
How these three areas of the state develop. What are the differences? Well, Oklahoma City's biggest success is really on the heels of all the MAPS programs. Oklahoma City's challenge had always been density. How do we generate density? Tulsa was the much more dense urban core than Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City, through the MAPS programs, has managed to generate some significant density, and we're located on I-35 in this rapid developing I-35 corridor.
NAFTA.
So when you think about the collection of metroplexes from San Antonio all the way up to Oklahoma City, this is about the third fastest growing population center in the United States. It's the fastest growing jobs center in the United States.
You hear that, folks?
Obviously, it's driven by Austin and Dallas, but it's beginning to move up the I-35 corridor to Oklahoma City. So in Oklahoma City, you have the density, and you have some positive, what I call economic geography, blowing in Oklahoma City's favor.
Tight shot.
And then the question is going to be, does that spill over into Tulsa? And does that spill over into the rest of the state? If so, when? If so, how? What are those transmission mechanisms? Those are going to be the kind of the questions going forward.
And every time you take a look, it seems that the rural areas are continuing to lag.
Well,
yeah, but there's going to be a lot of energy development in the rural areas. They better understand that.
The Durant area, they're doing very, very well, and it has a lot to do with the growth that's coming up from North Texas. But this is a growth area, and this is also a perfect example of mismatched labor or a gap in skills, because several of the counties that are in southeastern Oklahoma have rising unemployment rates, 6, 7, and there are even a couple 8, 9. However, you go to each one of these manufacturers and you see jobs available.
Boom.
Particularly as it relates to assembly, machinists, welding.
What's that for, folks?
The valves, compressors,
look at this.
tanks,
Here it comes.
and then get
Energy.
into the energy
Boom!
all the way up to North Dakota.
You heard
We
it.
desperately need those people. And then there are households that are looking for work, but unfortunately there's a mismatch.
Okay, you heard it right
And so
there.
there is an opportunity for
Go to southeast Oklahoma if you want to work in the energy patch. Matter of fact, just go to the oil patch if you want to work.
There are regional drivers that are there and have opportunity. We have to make sure that they have the labor supply for them.
How has Oklahoma done this last year compared to other states in our region?
Well, Oklahoma,
Probably pretty
again,
good.
has been relatively flat. I think we had our strong years in really coming out of the recession, 11, 12. We were the envy of the region. You think of Oklahoma City having some of an extremely long run, the lowest unemployment rates of major metro areas.
What's that based on, Doctor?
Oklahoma has not outperformed our peer states the way we had in the previous few years. And I think we'll see a little bit of that nationally. I think we recovered.
By the way, we're only 3 minutes and 45 seconds into this. It's already paying off in spades. We've already heard the young lady discuss the energy sector's importance in Oklahoma. I don't know how long this show lasts. We'll see. It gets close to 15 minutes. We'll shut it down. But there should be a lot of good information here. Once again, Energy Boom 101 Special Report, Oklahoma Forum.
Because they live in the perception, the shadow of 2011, 2012.
Looks like the British flag.
Things were happening on a robust
Paisley
pace.
tie.
I'm not aware of exactly how mundane 2013 has been. I think it's an anomaly. I don't think it will continue, and maybe we'll get there eventually.
420, by the way, into the show.
2013, I think, it will go down as a bit of a disappointment.
And I think 2013 needs to be taken in context of the national economy. You can't just look at Oklahoma's economy and take it out of what other market factors are moving supply and demand. We were the fourth state to recover from the recession. We came out very
This is
strong.
Deidre Myers, Deputy Director of Oklahoma Department of Commerce. You know what? We'd love to have her on the show. Deidre Myers, how would you like to be on Energy Boom 101? You'll be the first guest, and you'll run for dear life.
For 16 to 18 months. When you're looking at employers that are growing jobs, particularly over this last year, and you're looking at Oklahoma Oklahoma, which had actually an increase in average wages for the last year, in 2012 we were the second highest wage increase in the U.S. and from 2009 to 2012 we were fourth highest. So you're having wages increase because the labor slack is going down, meaning we don't have that labor supply for the labor demand. If you are a company, you're looking at all these other states that didn't recover as quickly as we did, who still have labor slack at the 6-7% unemployment rate. Wages are still depressed. There's a lot of supply to choose from. And so you're looking at a national market. And we can't just think that Oklahoma isn't part of that larger environment.
How is the energy sector looking?
Oh, man!
Obviously,
Here it comes!
high for some time.
Did you stay with us, kids? 5 minutes into it. They got to it.
What does it look like now?
I think, actually I'm fairly bullish. I'm fairly optimistic on the energy sector.
Wow.
We talked about the rural areas of the state. Oklahoma is considerably less dense than the nation as a whole. Nationally, about 82% of our population lives in a major metro area. In Oklahoma, it's only about 67% of our population. One of the reasons, obviously, is the energy sector, which maintains some level of activity out in the rural areas where the deposits of oil and gas and minerals are.
Boom.
What will change in the energy
Granite
industry
wash.
is it will no longer be a boom and bust cycle where I extract large returns when natural gas is $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 an MCF. In large returns when oil is $110, $120.
Here comes the long boom.
And then I extract no returns when those prices plummet, and I go through the cycle. As was mentioned in a recent conference, it's really now all about how do I get that return when prices are low. It's all about how can I minimize
Sustained
construction costs.
boom.
And so now all the activity we'll see will come from, we know where the resources are. We know where the reserves are. It's all about how can I advance technology and minimize those extraction costs so I can get my 7, 12, 15% normal return when gas is only at $3.90 or $3.95.
This is beautiful information, folks.
To do next year.
Very proud to offer this here at Energy Boom 101. We're basically just showing you Dick Pryor's Oklahoma Forum. They get all the credit, but we're doing a little narrative here.
It's really, that's all about downhole technology.
They just talked about GE Global.
To try to make sure I help firms figure out how do I get that return even though commodity prices may stay low. And so I think on the innovation, research, and development front, it would be a different industry than what we have known for the last 20 years. But
Boom, folks. Listen to that.
It will maintain its importance.
20 years. That's a 20-year boom.
I absolutely agree, and I'm even interested in knowing what Russell thinks about some of the diversification we've seen within the energy sector, meaning up, mid, downstream, as well as
Upstream.
the innovation, the R&D that you talked about with GE. That seems to me to be able to open up a lot more opportunity rather than just the extraction that we may have seen in the past energy.
I would agree.
Yeah, particularly in the midstream. The midstream plays would be terrifically important because, again, it's all about how do I minimize my extraction and distribution costs that are associated with getting my product from the reserve field to the end user. If I can minimize those costs, then I can eke out my return even when prices are low.
Anyone listening out there, you're getting amazing information here. Energy Boom 101, once again, connecting you from crude to consciousness via the Oklahoma Forum on OETA, Dick Pryor, this gentleman, and then the young lady, Deidre someone.
A lot of ports where we used to import, we'll turn around and export from. And it will be a different industry than we've seen, but it'll still be a major industry.
Boom.
One of the areas that was really propelled the economy in 2010, 11, and early 2012 was manufacturing in the energy industry.
Boom.
Valves, compressors that I've talked about. And we have the opportunity to still export those either to Canada, the northern U.S., and to other energy hotspots around the world. It's a matter of, can we get some people trained and get them into those jobs?
So has the success of the energy sector created a false positive in Oklahoma?
No,
We've
good
seen,
Lord.
you mentioned 11 and 12 were strong. And many people still think that Oklahoma's economy is going to continue to be strong like it was in 11 and 12.
Yeah.
Well, my personal opinion, and I think Russell may disagree with me a little bit, is that the economy is exceptionally strong if you have a market-demanded skill, knowledge, or ability. And if a household doesn't have that skill that an employer needs, it's looking like an economy that has very modest opportunities.
That means get trained in the energy sector, folks.
It's a simple supply and demand. We do not have the supply.
If you want to work in the oil patch.
It comes close to the demand. If you look at the unemployment rate for those people who have any kind of post-secondary training, it's under 5%. A bachelor's degree and higher is under 3%. We have a horrific shortage of qualified labor. On the flip side,
10
the
minutes into
unemployment rate for those people with a high school degree or less is over 6%. And we have, no wage pressure whatsoever because we have 2 people for every 1 job that is low skilled. So I think it's really a mixed bag when you look at 2014.
But is that still sector specific? Even if you have an advanced degree, it doesn't mean necessarily you're going to get a...
Okay, we're going to pull out here. That was a great little 10-minute shot. We're going to close it out with a lovely little say goodbye and hello Beatles style to Boom U. This was Dispatch. Oh, it's a frosty one out here, Boom U. Jack Frost is laying down some nice breath. This is probably Dispatch 38. That's what we'll title it. And we're going to title it Special Report Oklahoma Forum Energy Outlook 2014. I think that's pretty fair. 3, 2, 1, boom.